Hey YouTube, Joshua the Window Cleaner here with another giveaway night. Here we are on the 43rd night. And I have my son JT here again with me. He's sleeping again, so we'll just hope that he can make it through. He's been asleep for a little bit, so we'll see if he wakes up and I have to restart this thing, but maybe not. So yeah, so tonight I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that got me to California and how the culture shock of everything was. I did get this request from a fellow window cleaner. He said, Joshua, sometimes just talk about your journey more and not so much window cleaning. So before I get into that, or more on my journey and a little less on window cleaning, let's do the first prize wheel. And you will see me looking down at this. I have a bunch of pages. I actually wrote this out. The reason why I do that, I want to tell you, because Damien had asked, why don't you just go off the top of your head? I'll be rambling on and it won't make any sense, and I feel like I would bore you. So I really sit down and try to think about, you know, a story, or I try to think about things that I've been through and write them down. That way it's a little bit more structured and I can stay on topic and I'm not just drifting off, because I can just sit here and talk to you all night. But that's why I'm doing that. But yeah, so I have about 10 pages tonight, probably about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. I'm not real sure, but no window cleaning tips in this one. Just a little bit on some of the things that I went through in Alabama and some of the culture shocks and differences that I noticed whenever I got here. So, but first, before we do that, let's go ahead and do the first prize wheel. The prizes on this spin wheel are from Window Magic Supply. So here we go, and good luck. So also, I didn't say this to begin with, but welcome if you haven't been here. And how do you win and what to do, just real quick before I get into the spin wheel, because I should have done that at the beginning. If you win from Window Magic Supply, if you win on the spin wheel, make sure to send me a picture to Joshua the Window Cleaner at gmail.com. If you have already won, please go ahead and do that now, but that'll be when you get your prize. And how you win, there will be in white a question right above the spin wheel. So it'll be the first, second, or third, fourth, or fifth person, whichever one I choose, or whoever's a guest on the show. Sometimes we have guests on the show. They'll choose that, like, you know, which one will win. So that's how you win. So it'll be whoever answers that question. So as soon as you read the question, it could be the first one. So make sure to answer that in as quickly as possible. That way you can win. So that's how you win. And if you win something from WCR, we'll do another spin wheel later on from WCR. So if you win something from them, make sure to go on to windowcleaner.com and leave a review on the tool that you have. So if you've already won, please go back and do that. All right, so now I'm going to jump straight into the Window Magic Supply spin wheel. Good luck, everybody. right, congratulations, whoever you are out there. You won the S Plus channel by Unger. So this is the channel. It's just a little different on the ends. I highly recommend this channel. This is a really good channel. I have really liked it. I have used this for a long time. It's not my go-to, I'd say, because I like something more thick and heavy in my hand, but I would have to say, it is definitely a good channel. Really good for the green rubber. You can use it for the green rubber, and I like to use the Black Series handle with it, but that's just my choice. But yeah, so congratulations, whoever you are. This is the 14-inch S Plus channel. I'll get that out to you. Make sure to email me right now at joshuathewindowcleaner@gmail.com. Tell me what tool you won and your address. I need your address so that way I can ship it out to you. All right, so I'm going to jump straight into the topics. I'm going to start talking about growing up in Alabama. I was born and raised in Alabama. I'll talk a little bit about like me as a kid and some weird things that I don't just tell everybody, but I figured while I was in here, you can kind of get an idea of who I was as a kid. And I know a lot of you might already like some of these, and maybe you laugh at it. Maybe you're making fun of me. That's fine. I really don't care. I make fun of myself all the time. I'm just here. So yeah, so I loved Barney when I was a kid. I was infatuated with that. If my mom's here, she can attest to that. I would wake up in the middle of my naps and go and had to play Barney. I don't know why. I was just obsessed with Barney when I was a kid. I think it was the colors of all the characters and stuff maybe. But after Barney, I went to Power Rangers phase. So by the time I was about 4 or 5, I started getting into Power Rangers pretty good. And let's see, I liked Ace Ventura. When Nature Calls was the best one to me. I think it was the second one. But Ace Ventura, we watched that all the time. Jungle Book, Pinocchio. Those were my favorites whenever I was a kid. Jungle Book, I probably watched that like a million times. I really liked that movie. And I actually have met some people that have never heard of Jungle Book. So I think that's crazy. But yeah, I had many others. But those were the main ones that stick out as far as TV and movies go. I was born in 1991, so some of you were cleaning windows in 1991. So, I'm not that old. I'm only 30 years old. I'll be 31 this year. But yeah, so life also in my town, my hometown, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama is where I'm originally from. I was born about a mile away from the stadium at the University of Alabama. I was born in DCH, so if you've ever been there to a football game or anything like that, you know where the DCH hospital is. It's right there by the stadium. That's where I was born. So life was pretty much revolved around college football in the town that I grew up in. And I liked Alabama for a while because my uncle, by marriage, was one of the coaches. He wasn't the main coach, but he was an assistant coach. Well, he quit, and word got around that Alabama was taking steroids, so I became an Auburn fan for a while. Now, if you don't know, Auburn is Alabama's rival. Only about an hour and a half away from my hometown, so Auburn is actually in Alabama. What's up, buddy? You okay? What you doing? Yeah. You gonna let me tell my story? Or you gonna poop, so I gotta go change you? Alright, so anyway, so Auburn is actually in Alabama. It's a state rivalry that is or used to be really serious. It was very serious. It's probably not as serious as it was back then, but it was very serious when I was growing up. So I became an Auburn fan, and funny enough, Tommy Tuberville was the head coach that when I started going for Auburn. And they beat Alabama 6 years in a row. Most of my family and friends were Alabama fans, and at that time, and I won so many bets, and it's weird because whenever one team wins or the other team wins, you get like a whole year of talking crap. Well, I had like 6 years of talking crap. Like all through my high school and stuff, I was an Auburn fan, and it was just really cool to see Alabama getting beaten so many times, especially like because of what I had found out or what I had thought when you're a kid. That was a lot more dramatic, but now it's like, okay, they're all taking steroids, like whatever, who cares? But growing up in an environment where Alabama is your hometown, in Tuscaloosa, it's very serious. You go to people's houses, they have elephants on the wall, everything's painted red, it's just a big deal. So it's funny because one year, both of my parents are Alabama fans, but my brother at the time, well, my adopted brother, I guess you could say, He was an Auburn fan as well. So me and him were Auburn friends, and one of our friends named Brent, he was an Auburn fan as well. And so we'd make all these ridiculous bets like all year round. Oh, I can't wait till the Alabama Auburn game because you're gonna have to wear a dress or something like that. So my stepdad actually had to wear a dress, and so I'm gonna actually be talking about my stepdad tonight a little bit because he always honored those bets that we made, and I had to rub his feet so many times from bets that I lost, and if I wanted any money I had to rub his feet and all kinds of stuff. But I love my stepdad. I'm very grateful for him. But yeah, we're gonna get into talking about that. But when he wore the dress, I think he had to wear it for an entire day. We have pictures of it, so it was really really funny. But anyway, so my parents actually split up when I was 8 years old. So my real dad and my real mom, and it seemed as that's when more things shifted in my life. My mom got into an abusive relationship, and I saw her go through many things. And my dad slowly moved further and further away. By the time I was 14, he was moved to New Mexico. My real dad was. My mom finally got out of that relationship, and me and my sister hooked my mom up with a really great guy, Tommy. So how we met Tommy was my sister had was a cheerleader, and she had a cheerleading car wash at a store, and I was helping. And then Tommy rolled up. If you know anything about vehicles, he rolled up in a 2004 F-250 with 44-inch Super Swampers. And me as a kid, I was so into that truck. It was a dark blue, and I could never forget it. I don't even remember how old I was, but I was pretty young. I was probably like 10. No, I had to have been like 11 or 12, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, so I could never forget that truck. And I had a Southern Link phone, and that was like if you ever had a Nextel or like a chirp phone, like you push the side button and you can chirp or whatever. It was called Southern Link down in the South. But I had a Southern Link phone at the time, and he did too. And I used to call him every night, and I'm talking about Tommy. I used to call him every night and tell him good night. And I started calling him when I was bored, and I built a relationship with him. And during some of that time, my mom's abusive ex was stalking her in the woods, and I remember hiding in the cabinets because we were afraid he was going to do something crazy. My mom swore she wouldn't get in another relationship after all that she went through. And we finally convinced her to call Tommy, and we all went out to get pizza, and it went on from there. I mean, it's a lot more to the story, obviously, but 13 years now they've been married, and he always protected us and told that guy to back off. So whenever he was stalking my mom and stuff, he told him that, hey, look, I'm seeing her, and you need to back off, because they knew each other. So it's funny enough. But Tommy was always a really great guy and always helping and lending a hand whenever we needed it before, because he knew my mom a little bit from the car wash. So after the car wash, we just kind of got to know Tommy, and so it was just really cool. But anyways, so that guy had run my mom through the dirt, the other guy, and she was losing our house, our land. We lost all of our animals, everything that my dad had left, because my dad had left the house. But then my mom kind of acquired a farm after that, because the guy that was abusive, he cut down a whole bunch of trees in our land and made wood, and then built horse stalls and stuff, and then had horses. And then we were breeding horses for a little bit, and we had chickens and goats and just like all kinds of stuff. And so, all that was kind of acquired while my mom was with the abusive guy, because that's what he kind of did to the land. But anyways, so we were losing everything, and we went through a pretty bad time where we had to live next door to my grandparents. But I'll get into that a little bit in a second. But Tommy ended up buying the house and turned the house and land into a huge blessing. And we built half pipes and zip lines, and we played Call of Duty. We had all my friends from school come over, and we literally system linked. This was before online gaming. Well, that might have been online gaming, but on a computer back then. So we would all bring our Xboxes over and system link them. We'd all link them together with cords and play against each other. And so that was a lot of fun. We did that. We played Capture the Flag out there on the land. We'd do that in the middle of the night, play Capture the Flag. One team would get into a field. One team, we had woods on one side, and we had a field on the other side where we would take care of the horses and stuff. So we would have a flag over there and a flag in the woods, and it would be in the middle of the night. And we would be out there just deep off in the woods and deep off in the field and stuff. We had a lot of fun with that. We played war with airsoft guns and really had a blast with about 20 of my friends. they were always included. That was always really cool. And Tommy is truly awesome and made a huge impact on my life. But anyways, I graduated, and they sold the house and land and got a houseboat on the river. And this was a 1957 steel bottom barge boat converted into a 2-story houseboat. And it needed a ton of work, so we all pitched in and worked our butts off on it and lived in it for a while. We had jet skis, we fished all the time. One day I went on the river on a jet ski and saw a bad storm coming, and this is a crazy story. So I was out there on the jet ski, and I was just riding around, and I see rain and stuff coming through, because when you're on the river, it goes very far. It's really big, so you can kind of see the weather coming in. And I was like, dang, that looks rough. That looks like it's going to be a bad storm. So I started heading back in and got back to the boat, and let's see, and a tornado came through and ripped the roof off the top level of the houseboat. And the top level was my room. So the way it was designed was, the downstairs part was, in the back of the boat there was a kitchen, and then you walked through the kitchen, and then there was a bathroom right there, and then right across from the bathroom a laundry room, and then when you walk past that, more towards the front of the boat, was a huge living room. And so, that's kind of how it was designed. And my parents stayed, that was like their room. So upstairs was my bedroom. So upstairs, the whole upstairs was a bedroom. So that was my room. And I went up there because we were trying to ride out the storm, and I was drawing. I used to draw a whole lot. So I was drawing, and I'm talking about the whole roof came off, and I just started yelling, and I was like, I didn't know what to do. Rain was coming in. It was really, really crazy. So all my stuff got ruined. Obviously, I could take all my clothes and wash my clothes, but I had all my walls were filled with drawings and stuff like that. All that stuff got ruined, and I was still in my swimsuit. So I was planning on going back out after the storm passed, because a lot of times there's more waves out there, but there's always barges coming through the river, so you can go out there and ride the waves and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun. But anyway, so I'm glad it was just the roof. So me and Tommy didn't take the whole top level off. It didn't just completely level it out. It only took off the roof. So luckily, it just ruined my bed. It ruined, a lot of things, but we were able to replace all that. Ruined my TV, like just everything I had in my room, really. But luckily, it didn't do the wall. So we built back the wall. We built back the roof solid. And over time, that boat started rotting. My mom and Tommy got a new boat. And a lot of good memories in that boat. Let's see. But there's a lot more to that story. There's so much more to these stories. But we're at 18 minutes now, so about to be at 19 minutes. So I don't want to go into these stories too much, but we can, spend time on these stories later. Anyways, there's a lot of good memories there. And let's see. Just some of the things I have seen in Alabama. Long story short, we lived in the country and on a farm, and also had to live very poor at one point. The abusive guy put my mom in the dirt, so I felt like I had seen the country and the hood. We lived next door to my grandparents in a really old house, and I remember the fleas were so bad in the house that you could wear knee socks, or you had to wear knee socks over your pants, or they would get up in there and bite your legs, and like you could see them jumping. If you wore white socks, you could see them jumping on your legs. The fleas were so bad there. But that house was really bad, and my mom says it's not the hood, but my mom actually, my grandparents bought the house when my mom was 9 years old, and it was very nice neighborhood then. But now there's like crackheads living next door. There's like people living in a house like two houses down from my grandparents, and they literally, their roof has been burnt off, and it rains all the time. They don't have no power or nothing, and they still live in that house. So it's really weird. That neighborhood is not a good neighborhood anymore, in my opinion. My mom would say otherwise just because she grew up there, but I know the people that live there because I went to school with them. It's in Holt, but just not a good area. Not a place you really want to be at nighttime. For real, I would not want to walk the streets out there at nighttime. But anyway, so 4 of us slept in one bed in this house for a while, and most of the time it was a hit or miss when the power and water worked properly, and this is at the house next door to my grandparents. But long story short, my stepdad came into our lives when we had lost everything, and changed my outlook on life and showed me how to be a dad. So if you're watching, shout out to you, Tommy. Shout out to you. All right, so after I graduated, Tommy helped me get into a trade school and bought all my first tools. I actually went for auto body and learned how to paint. So I learned auto body and collision. I was a natural with a paint gun. Kind of long story why I was a natural, because of what I grew up doing, but we'll talk about that another time. Let's see. So it's kind of a long story why. We can talk about that another night. Anyways, I worked at a few shops after school and ended up painting at a Ford dealership from working almost 18 hours every single day. I worked 7 days a week for 7 years. So I worked at a bunch of different body shops. As soon as I got out of school, I went to one body shop and I started buffing cars after they were painted and cleaning them up and detailing them. And I got to where I was pretty good at that and pretty systematic with that. I was good at buffing cars, waxing cars, all that stuff. Then I slowly moved up and started prepping cars for paint. Learned how to do that. Was really good at prepping, and then I just started painting. And then I worked at a couple different shops. At one point, I would work all day at a shop, and then I'd work all night at a shop painting 18-wheelers, because you don't get much sleep as a painter. When you're spraying that paint in the air all the time, you can't sleep very often. It really takes a toll on your body. But I really I would work 18-hour days, 7 days a week. But of course, I would take days off and enjoy it because I had bought so much stuff, because I was making good money and I was just giving money away and stuff. So, are you smiling? But yeah, so working like that, I finally had worked myself up. After I started prepping, I went and worked at another body shop and was prepping for a guy, and then we moved to the Ford dealership, and that's when I was prepping and painting. I prepped and painted at one place, and then me and that guy went to the Ford place and prepped and painted. So it was a really good experience as far as that, but I just had so much stuff going on. I had a few dramatic things happen, and things had shifted for me again, and I had finally did what I'd always said I would do. I mean, even in high school, I remember talking to the guidance counselor when I was like 17 and telling them that I thought I was going to go out there for my music or for graphic design or for drawing or something like that, but I always wanted to go out to California, and I was going to end up there somehow, no matter what I ended up doing, right after college. And so I was actually going to move out to Colorado and go to school, and then move from Colorado to California. That was kind of my plan. Well, I didn't go to Colorado and go to college, so that never worked out. But yeah, so I had a few dramatic things happen, and things had shifted for me, and I finally did what I always said I was going to do, and that was move to California. So the culture was completely different. I went from green pine trees everywhere to mountains, palm trees, and sunshine. For me, it felt like being trapped somewhere to being free, almost like you're in a maze, because everything around you is blocked off by trees. Versus now, I see palm trees in my view, and I can look as far as I can see and see mountains and beautiful sunsets and stuff. Which they have beautiful sunsets and stuff in Alabama as well, but nothing like what I've seen out here, especially with what you see on the land part of it. There you just see a bunch of trees, and then you see that. And sometimes you can see land. I mean, I'm not saying it's all like that, but majority when you're going on the interstate or whatever, it's that. And that was another thing. I had to remember to not say interstate and to say freeway, because I kept saying, well, I'm going to get on the interstate and go so-and-so. But people out here don't really understand what an interstate is. So they know what a freeway is. So it's different. But anyways, for me, it felt like being trapped somewhere to being free. Closed spaces to open views. The weather was very rainy when I moved here. It was flooded in so many places, and I heard many people saying it was unusual, but it rained for like a year. And the biggest adjustment for me was the food. When I moved here, everything was terrible. I was sick for about 6 months trying different foods. It was really terrible. I'm not really sure why, but that was the hardest thing to adjust to. I had to find the good places to eat. But yeah, like when I moved here, I was just like sick. I tried so many different places to eat everywhere my brother was recommended. His sister was cooking for me, going to the grocery stores and stuff. The chicken was terrible. The meat just tasted terrible. Everything just was just bad. And maybe it was her cooking. I hope not. But I have even went to a couple other places like, man, this is just terrible. Even the Mexican food was just so different. But now, like, I would say the Mexican food is 10 times better here, than it is in Alabama, and I've adjusted to the food, and so I actually think the food's better in California than it is in Alabama. Because I've went back and visited Alabama, and it's just like, man, this is not good. Now, barbecue, we're talking about something totally different. You get into barbecue, you get into some seafood or something like that. I feel like it's pretty close. But if you go and get some seafood right there on the beach in Oceanside or something out here in California, you're going to get phenomenal. It's going to be really expensive, but the food is phenomenal. So you just got to go to the right places and spend that money. But yeah, so that's a little bit of the culture. Now I'm going to go ahead and slide in that WCR spin wheel right now because we are at 26 minutes. I'm going to try to be at 30 minutes, but I'm going to say 35 minutes because I still got a little bit to talk about. I got like 2 more pages, so let's go ahead and do the WCR spin wheel. These prizes are from WCR, so if you win, please go on there and leave a review. And good luck to you. This is a good prize. I already know because I had to do this show. So it chose a really good tool this week. So good luck to you. All right, congratulations, whoever you are out there. You have won the Zero Trad pole, the 12-footer. I love this pole. I use it on a regular basis. You say congratulations. Congratulations. All right, well, there you go. That's what you won. So whoever got that, we'll say the first person. First person to answer that correctly. And on the first, I don't think I said it. I'll probably say it in the comments, but we'll do the first one on the first one too. All right, so congratulations, whoever you are. Just make sure when you get that pole actually comes with the Joshua the Window Cleaner kit. So if you are a newer window cleaner out there, you can go to WCR's website, windowcleaner.com, and you can look up, just type in Joshua, and then you will see, is he flicking everybody off? It looked like he was flicking everybody off. But anyway, so yeah, on the Joshua the Window Cleaner kit, there's a blue trad pole, which is what you see over here. Oh, bud. It's okay. But there is a blue trad pole with the Joshua Window Cleaner kit as well so when you win that, you win a trad pole. But yeah, so I want to go ahead and get back to this because obviously I'm going to have to go. He's got to eat soon, so he's probably going to be getting fussy real soon. So I don't want you guys to have to see all that. It's brutal for me, at least, because maybe it's just my kid. But I'm trying to get used to it. Anyways, so the biggest thing that I remember changing, and as far as culture shock goes, was the air. It was thicker in Alabama, and I felt like I could breathe in California. I had more energy here. I had to get used to living next door to hundreds of people. There is neighborhoods in Alabama, don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot different environment. Most people are retired or working hard. There is a lot of military families here in California. Everyone here is close together. Several stores, cars, everything's real close. In Alabama, it's more spread out. I notice it's more about material things here and making money. In Alabama, it's more about time and home, taking care of home and family. And it's a lot more poverty. Here, everyone's got nice, fancy cars. I've seen exotic cars. I've seen more exotic cars in 1 week than I have seen in my entire life in Alabama. That kind of gives you an idea. But it's more of a hometown feel, but it's still a college town in Tuscaloosa, where I'm from. But it's still not a city as it is here. Just the lifestyle is totally different. But there's so many houses here, and they are building more daily. I mean, I'm seeing them throw up neighborhoods in valleys that was just cleared out, and now they're just houses and baseball parks and all that stuff getting built. So, but you can definitely start a business here and succeed by showing up and doing a good job. That is for sure. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop rambling on about my journey. I hope y'all enjoyed the show, enjoyed me rambling on. Um, let's see, there of course is much more to the story. If you would like to hear more, let me know in the comments. I might throw in a show about stories in Alabama and California. That's going to wrap it up tonight. If you would like to send donations, that would help us get shipping boxes and tape. Also, I wanted to add cash prizes. So everyone loves cash and could use it. So if you want to donate, email me at joshuathewindowcleaner@gmail.com. But yeah, man, that helps me out. So if you do want to see this show, I'm done reading it now, so I can, But if I'm looking at you like this, like that's why I have to keep going back and trying to make sure I stay on track. I keep going back to the page. But yeah, so if you want to see more shows about stories in Alabama, a little bit more about who I am and where I come from, and then stories in California, because I have had a lot going on. It would take me years to tell y'all everything that's going on. So if y'all want to have nights where it's just like I'm just talking to y'all about my story and y'all just want to hear more about me, then I can do that. It's just weird for me to just talk about myself, so I try to come up with window cleaning topics and things that I've experienced so that y'all can benefit from that. But it seems like I keep getting the requests from a couple different people saying that I should just talk about my journey and who I am, because it's I'm hearing people say that it's who I am the reason why people are watching the channel. It's who I am the reason why people keep coming back to the show and everything. It has nothing to do with giving away tools and stuff. It's just who I am. So I don't see it that way. I don't feel like I'm anything important. This is all my opinion, and I'm hoping that I can help you build your business. I know I've built my business, and I'm continuing to grow my business and build my business. And so, that's why at the beginning of the videos you'll see me saying that I can help you grow your business. Well, I've built mine, and I've seen a lot of people go out of business during the time I've been in business, and we're doing pretty good. And my business is pretty much can run on its own. I mean, I've been off for like a month and a half. My business is still running by itself, so I must be doing something right. And I hope that I can spark ideas up for you and help you. But yeah. So, anyways, I hope that y'all enjoyed the show. Please, any feedback would be great. If you can just give me some feedback on how I can do better, or how I can anything, any suggestions or anything for the show. If you think the show sucks and I suck or whatever, just put your feedback in there. I don't care. Just tell me what you think. I'm always improving every day, and I'm willing to improve and open to improving every day. I try to change up the show every single week, so it's not the same boring thing that you see on the screen. You might see the same background for right now, but the tools are slowly dwindling down. So I got another box of tools over there I ain't even went through, because I'm gonna wait until I get a lot of these gone, because some of these tools have been on here for a while. So I want to make sure everybody can get those. Those are the tools they want to see. But yeah, so we're at 34 minutes. The music will play for about another minute, so we'll make this a 35-minute show. Thank y'all for joining me. Thank you for being on here. If it's your first time, welcome. I hope to see y'all next week. We're here every Friday night at 7 Pacific time, giving away tools from Window Magic Supply and Window Cleaning Resource. And I have some topics. There's some stories for you. Always prepared. And a lot of times it's a short show, 20 minutes or so. I try not to go. If I go like an hour or so, I kind of like feel like I'm burning everybody out. So, but yeah, hope y'all have a blessed weekend, a blessed week. Can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye. All right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed night, blessed weekend, blessed week, all that. We'll see y'all next Friday on giveaway night. Peace out.